Hello! In today's Archaeoscoop, my top 3 headlines are as follows. Headline number 1 comes from Aberdeenshire and Crathus Castle. But this is not a story about medieval archaeology, it's actually with regards to the Mesolithic in Scotland, a topic which actually evidence for is usually very scarce on the ground. However, this is a very exciting find. A field on site has revealed 12 pits which mimic the phases of the moon and therefore chart the lunar months, as it were, the lunar calendar. Now this is extraordinary, not least because it's 10,000 years old, but also it predates similar monuments, for example in Mesopotamia, by many thousands of years. So it's being dubbed the oldest calendar in the world, and at the moment, who can argue with them? But also as well, it's a very exciting discovery for the Scottish Mesolithic. As I say, evidence for the Mesolithic in northern England is scarce. In Scotland, it becomes even more scarce. So this is a remarkable find and well worth learning more about. I very much look forward to hearing more about it. So that's headline number 1. Check that out. Headline number 2 comes from the Thar Desert in northeastern India, and a site called, Katuati or K280. It's actually a Palaeolithic site. Stone tools have been found there, dating to around 95,000 years ago. They were dated using optically stimulated luminescence, and this is really an interesting find because it's stimulating or adding to the debate as to how it is that humanity spread out of Africa, and indeed what stone tools they had with them when they arrived in different parts of the world. This is to a certain extent trashing some elements of that debate, but also it is nonetheless an extremely interesting result, so will lead to new theories and new debate will continue. So an interesting find, a Paleolithic find in northeastern India, and often people, again, don't really think about the Paleolithic outside of Europe or Africa. Certainly there seems to be a sort of an African, European, Middle Eastern centric focus or bias, but I think often the most interesting finds come from the Asian subcontinent or indeed further east. This is really interesting. That's headline number 2. Headline number 3 comes from Alabama, and that's Oxford, Alabama. Now, yes, there is an Oxford in Alabama. Who knew? I didn't know that. Then again, I also didn't know, strangely enough, that there's a Washington in the northeast of England. We recently visited it, and that's where the Washington family, as in George Washington, comes from. We visited his ancestral home, though he never saw it himself. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Oxford, Alabama, where a Native American mound is being demolished for a retail warehouse. It's the largest of several earth and stone mounds in a sort of a valley area, and was probably of obviously symbolic and ritual, but also funerary significance to people who used the mound. Interestingly enough as well, actually, local people have got a link with the mound, and there's one person who was interviewed saying that their own family, I think their own grandmother, had expressed a connection with that mound, and if and when she died, he could be with her just by going to this place. So it's still a significant place, if not a spiritual place for some people. But nonetheless, it's being destroyed because of a $2.6 million, I think, contract to build a warehouse, and this is linked with the Walmart Group. And of course, the Walmart Group are infamous for being ever so slightly evil. Although I think they own Asda over here in the UK, and I do shop there. I have to rethink that. Anyway, it's a real shame. It's yet another example of money doing the talking, and Native American archaeology suffering at the hand of, I suppose, disinterest. Certainly from corporate bodies, if not local authorities. Nonetheless, it's a bit of a shame. Do check out that story. Whether or not there's anything that can be done in this instance, I'm not sure. But I thought it was worthwhile highlighting. So for those news stories, and indeed all the other news stories in the past few days, as ever, check out the video information. They are listed there for your delectation and delight, so please do take the time and read them. Incidentally as well, today, just in case you didn't know, is the anniversary of the Rosetta Stone having been found. So there you go, that's a significant bit of news as well. Now in the coming days, indeed this week, Indeed, later today, my in-laws will be arriving here at Archaeoscoop Tower. It's going to be great to see Mrs. Soup's parents. It's always a pleasure. But it does mean that I can't guarantee what my output will be this week in terms of Archaeoscoop videos. What I can say is I will do what I can when I can. The same goes actually for the following week, when I'm going to be in a shopping centre from Tuesday till Saturday. Obviously I'll be coming home in the evening, but I'll be talking to the public about Saxons and Vikings and about well, a very interesting heritage in the post-Roman world in the northeast of England. But again, that will impact on my YouTube output. That said though, there will be Monday. We'll always have Monday next week, so the week after, no, it's next week rather, getting very confused. And again, I'll do what I can when I can over that week. Probably I'll be making things of an evening, possibly. Anyway, do check out those news stories, and yeah, just bear with me over the next couple of weeks. And I'm looking forward to this actually. We will probably may even go to Binchester with her parents. And that may well mean filming with David Petts, who just found a Geordie, well, what's being labelled a Geordie Roman god there. So maybe there could be a very interesting video coming out of this week. Anyway, I'm rambling. Enjoy the news stories. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.